Hello everyone, and welcome to my Bold and Beautiful Today channel. Sheila makes the terrible sacrifice of killing Luna in order to save Steffy. Steffy Forrester Finnegan is going to be fired by Luna Nozawa. Could her granddaughter make a startling step that leaves everyone in Los Angeles speechless, as Sheila Carter Sharp worries about what she may do next? Let's discuss what might happen next in this plot while you continue reading. Luna Nozawa's intent to kill. Luna has been alternating between interests, as fans are aware. She'll be obsessed with getting Will Spencer into bed one day. The following day, she is obsessed with John Finn Finnegan, her biological father. Luna now desires a relationship with her father because Will continues to reject her. Luna has been repeatedly informed that it is not feasible. However, Luna's anger increases with the number of times she is told no. The intuition of Sheila Carter Sharp. Luna told her grandma that if they got rid of Steffy, they could both live with Finn. The idea appalled Sheila, who pushed Luna to leave Los Angeles. Sheila was concerned about more than just what Luna would do. Sheila was worried that Luna would drag her back to the dark side as well. Sheila was relieved that her granddaughter was gone when Luna went off to face Steffy once more. Sheila even told Deacon Sharp about it. Sheila is worried that something horrible is about to happen, though, because something is pulling at her stomach. The serious danger of Steffy Forrester Finnegan. According to previews for The Bold and the Beautiful, Luna has now purchased a firearm. In order to be close to Finn, the young woman intends to kill Steffy. But Luna isn't considering the repercussions, such as how Finn will perceive her in the event that Steffy passes away. The pardoned prisoner is considerably more dangerous because she is undoubtedly insane. According to Ridge Forrester, Luna wouldn't reach his family. But twice now, Luna has managed to sneak into the Cliff House and catch Shin off guard. Now that Luna has purchased a firearm, Steffy is in serious danger. The tragic sacrifice of grandmother? Luna's statement that Steffy still despises Sheila despite the fact that she saved Kelly Spencer was intriguing. Sheila has been acting appropriately for a very long time. It's obvious that the soap opera is set up for Sheila to have to kill Luna in order to save Steffy. Could that deed ultimately bring Sheila atonement, even though Steffy might never truly trust her? Will the antagonist have to eradicate a greater threat? In a city like Los Angeles, where secrets stir just beneath the surface of beauty and wealth, and every smile hides a storm, a dark tragedy was quietly brewing, one that would change the lives of the Forrester, Sharp, and Finnegan families forever. Luna Nozawa had always been a complex young woman, full of ambition, yearning, and shadows that threatened to consume her. Bouncing between infatuations and identities, Luna had latched onto a dangerous fantasy, that Steffy Forrester Finnegan was the sole barrier between her and a life filled with love, purpose, and belonging. Her desire for a bond with her biological father, John Finn Finnegan, had grown into something obsessive. Twisted by rejection and isolation, Luna began to convince herself that if Steffy were gone, Finn would finally see her, love her, accept her, not just as a daughter but as the center of his life. Her rejection by Will Spencer had only fueled the fire. Once again, she was the girl no one wanted. But this time, Luna vowed, she would take control of the narrative. No more being tossed aside. No more watching other women live the life she deserved. Luna's delusions were no longer just thoughts, they had become plans. Dangerous ones. And lurking nearby was Sheila Carter Sharp, Luna's grandmother, a woman who knew better than anyone what darkness looked like, because she had lived it. Sheila had fought long and hard to prove she had changed, had clawed her way toward redemption, determined to be the kind of mother, grandmother, and partner she had never been. She had stood in the shadows watching Steffy raise her granddaughter, Kelly. She had saved Kelly's life once. And still, she was met with nothing but suspicion, rejection, and contempt. Yet, Sheila understood it. She even accepted it, up to a point. But when Luna whispered the unthinkable, when her sweet-voiced granddaughter floated the idea of eliminating Steffy for good, something inside Sheila cracked. For all her dark history, Sheila had never wanted this for Luna. She knew the scent of obsession, the feel of murder in her bones. She had tasted the consequences and wore the scars like armor. And the idea of Luna, her own blood, going down that path? It chilled her to the core. She begged Luna to leave town. She insisted she forget about Steffy, forget about Finn, and walk away. But Luna was past logic. Past reason. She smiled and told Sheila not to worry, then disappeared into the Los Angeles night with her plan tucked in her purse, along with a newly purchased gun. Sheila tried to calm herself. Told herself Luna was just talking. That she'd come to her senses. But a sickening dread twisted her gut. She felt it. Like a phantom hand gripping her chest. Something was going to happen. Deacon Sharp, her partner and confidant, tried to reassure her, but Sheila couldn't rest. She paced the room. Checked the clock. Her thoughts spiraled. What if Luna really went to the Cliff House? What if she really intended to pull the trigger? The idea of Luna becoming a killer, especially that kind of killer, was a horror Sheila couldn't allow. She had spent too many years trying to leave that part of herself behind. She refused to watch Luna become what she once was. The final straw came when Ridge Forrester stormed into Il Giardino and announced that Luna had breached their home again. Not once, but twice. Sheila's fears solidified. Luna was out of control, and no one else saw it. No one else would see it, until it was too late. In that moment, something cold and clear settled over Sheila's heart. She didn't want to go back to the darkness. She didn't want to be that person. But if it came down to Steffy or Luna, she knew what she had to do. Because for all the pain she had caused, all the blood on her hands, she had never wanted to be the reason her granddaughter turned into a murderer. Meanwhile, at the Forrester Cliff House, Steffy felt the tension in the air. Something wasn't right. She'd been on edge for days, telling Finn they needed more security, that Luna wasn't just unstable, she was dangerous. Finn resisted at first, insisting Luna was just acting out. But even he couldn't ignore the erratic behavior any longer. Still, he couldn't bear the idea that his daughter, his own blood, was capable of violence. That denial almost cost him everything. That evening, the ocean roared below the cliffs, and moonlight spilled across the living room floor like spilled milk. Steffy put Kelly to bed and returned to the living room, where a chilling sight awaited her. Luna stood there, silent, trembling, armed. Her eyes were wide and glassy, the gun shaking in her hand, her mouth curled into something between grief and fury. "You took everything from me," she whispered. "You stole the life I was supposed to have." Steffy tried to talk her down, voice steady but urgent. "Luna, you need help. This isn't the way. Finn won't love you for this." But Luna's grip on reality was slipping fast. "You'll never understand," she hissed. "You've always had everything. Now it's my turn." And then, from the shadows, Sheila appeared. She had followed Luna, desperate to stop her. Desperate to do the right thing for once in her life. When she stepped into the light, both women froze. Steffy's eyes widened in horror. Luna's in confusion. Sheila's in sorrow. "Put it down, Luna," Sheila said softly. "Please. Don't do this. You're not this person. Don't let the pain control you like it controlled me. I know what this life leads to. Let me take this burden from you." Luna looked at her grandmother, betrayal flashing across her face. "You're choosing her over me?" she screamed. "You promised me we could have a life together." "Not like this," Sheila whispered. "Not this way. If you do this, there's no going back." Luna's finger tightened on the trigger. Steffy braced herself. And Sheila, with tears slipping down her cheeks, made her choice. There was a single, deafening shot. Then silence. Luna dropped to the floor, the gun falling from her hand. Sheila sank to her knees beside her granddaughter's body, sobbing. Steffy stood frozen, her breath ragged, unable to speak. Finn burst into the room seconds later, having received an alert from the security system too late to stop the tragedy. He saw his wife standing in shock. His daughter sleeping upstairs. And on the floor, Luna, lifeless. Killed by the very woman who brought her into the world. What did you do? He cried, falling to his knees. She was my daughter. Sheila didn't fight him. Didn't defend herself. She simply nodded, her voice raw. I know. And I'm sorry. But I couldn't let her kill Steffy. I couldn't let her become me. The days that followed were a storm of grief and anger. The police investigated. Sheila was questioned. But in the end, it was ruled a justifiable homicide. A life taken to save another. Finn struggled to forgive. Steffy struggled to understand. Ridge and Brooke declared they would never accept Sheila, not after what happened. But the truth remained, Sheila Carter had saved Steffy's life. She had chosen redemption over legacy. Sacrifice over silence. And in doing so, she had lost the last fragile piece of her family. The tragedy echoed across the city, rattling the already fragile relationships that held the Forrester universe together. Deacon stood by Sheila, quietly devastated. Lee Finnegan was inconsolable, mourning the loss of a granddaughter she never got to truly know. Katie Logan, Brooke, and Taylor Hayes all took sides, debating whether Sheila's sacrifice was brave or merely the final act of a woman who could never truly escape her past. But perhaps the greatest change was within Sheila herself. She no longer craved redemption. She no longer sought approval. She simply existed with the weight of her actions. And though no one would ever call her a hero, some, like Steffy, began to wonder if maybe, just maybe, there was more to Sheila than a lifetime of villainy. In the end, Luna's death was a tragedy that couldn't be undone. But it was also a moment of brutal clarity, a chance for the cycle of violence, revenge, and pain to be broken. And in a city where no one ever truly forgave, maybe that was enough. Remy returns, Luna's target practice, and Liam's rescue mission. Liam Spencer becomes concerned about Steffy Forrester Finnegan's safety. Meanwhile, Remy Price disrupts Luna Nozawa's target practice. Continue reading and let's discuss what's coming up on the CBS soap drama. Steffy Forrester Finnegan's danger. Fans are aware that Steffy is in great danger. Although the brunette swears she is not afraid of Luna, she should still be cautious. Luna has now entered Steffy and John Finn Finnegan's home without permission twice. Fans are also aware that Luna has blamed all of her issues on Steffy. Luna purchased a firearm after being kicked out of Casa de la Chine for the second time. Liam Spencer's rescue mission. In the weekly preview, Liam expresses concern to Finn about Steffy's risk. Liam wants to know what Finn intends to do to protect Steffy from a psychotic and unglued Luna. Finn's expression suggests that he has no notion what to do. Liam's voice and body language indicate that he might play a hero. It would be a noble way out for Liam, who is dying of an incurable brain tumor. Sheila Carter Sharp and Penelope Poppy Nozawa will also take part in a rescue effort. After receiving unsettling information from Sheila, Poppy confronts Luna, who is determined to get her way no matter what. Later, Poppy warns Finn and Lee Finnegan that Luna is actually pursuing Steffy. Luna Nozawa's target practice. According to the Bold and the Beautiful spoilers, Luna has purchased a gun and claims that she needs it to protect herself. Luna is upset that everyone seems to be turning their backs on her. Fans know it hurt Sheila's heart to tell Luna to leave. However, she was correct, Luna is out of control. Luna takes her new rifle to a shooting range. Luna scowls hard as she shoots round after round. Luna hears a familiar voice. Remy. Remy Price's return. Remy's homecoming occurs at an unusual time. Remy probably works at a shooting range. Luna smiles at Remy in a promotional clip. As the smoldering Los Angeles sun settled behind the glimmering skyline, the city pulsed with hidden secrets and explosive truths, particularly in the upper crust worlds of the Forrester, Finnegan, Spencer, and Nozawa families. Steffy Forrester Finnegan, radiant and resolute as ever, moved about her home with an eerie sense of calm, though underneath that polished exterior was a brewing storm of anxiety, because Luna Nozawa, once a timid presence seeking acceptance, had now transformed into a volatile force with a mission of her own, and her obsession with Steffy had reached chilling new heights. Luna, long eclipsed by the shadows of other powerful women, had been nursing deep resentments ever since she was repeatedly shunned from the home of John Finnegan and Steffy, a rejection that gnawed at her like acid. Her mind, once ruled by logic and love, now simmered with a dangerous cocktail of paranoia, vengeance, and heartbreak, particularly after she felt betrayed by both her lover and her aunt. Luna's downward spiral had accelerated ever since she was ejected from Casa de la Chine, and when she bought a firearm, her reasoning was drenched in denial, telling herself it was for protection, while somewhere in her subconscious, the gun symbolized power, a way to seize control in a world that had cast her aside. Alone in the sterile, echo-filled shooting range, Luna's hands trembled slightly as she held the weapon, her fury surfacing with each squeeze of the trigger, each round fired with the imagined image of Steffy's smug face behind the target. But fate had other plans, and just as her mind began to sink deeper into darkness, a familiar, grounding voice interrupted her spiral. Remy Price, whose sudden return to Los Angeles could not have been more timely or mysterious. Luna turned slowly, surprised, perhaps even warmed for a brief instant, by Remy's casual greeting, the kind of voice she had almost forgotten existed in a world now populated by enemies. Remy, a stoic figure from Luna's past who once offered her compassion when no one else did, stood in jeans and a gun range uniform, clipboard in hand, eyes narrowed slightly in concern as he took in the storm cloud hovering around her. There was history between them, not all of it good, but it was undeniable that Remy had been someone who saw Luna before she began to unravel. "Didn't expect to see you here," he said, half smiling, trying to sound casual, but Luna's face remained tense, her eyes flickering with a kind of intensity that sent a ripple of unease through him. Meanwhile, across town, Liam Spencer was pacing the polished floors of Finn's office, his usual cool demeanor replaced by frantic urgency as he confronted Finn about the looming danger Luna posed to Steffy. Liam's love for Steffy had always simmered beneath the surface, even as he tried to support her marriage to Finn, and now, with the threat of Luna's unraveling mind and her violent potential, that love burned like wildfire. Finn, always the composed and thoughtful physician, now found himself paralyzed by helplessness, unable to believe the young woman he once tried to guide could descend so rapidly into potential violence. Liam's voice cracked with emotion, and there was an almost imperceptible shift in Finn's expression, a flicker of fear, perhaps guilt, because deep down, he had ignored the warning signs. Liam wasn't going to sit back and wait for tragedy. Especially not with his own diagnosis weighing heavily on his soul, an inoperable brain tumor, a ticking clock he had only just come to terms with, now giving him a newfound clarity about what truly mattered. He didn't want to die a man who did nothing. If he could save Steffy, protect the mother of his child from Luna's wrath, then maybe, just maybe, his life would mean something more. Elsewhere, Sheila Carter Sharp was picking up on the tremors of something dangerous brewing in her bloodline. She had her flaws, many of them, but even Sheila knew when a situation teetered on the brink of catastrophe. Her intel was alarming, and she didn't hesitate to confront Poppy Nozawa. The two women, once allies in navigating the complexities of Luna's heart, now stood divided by urgent fear. Poppy had believed in Luna, fought for her, but the reports Sheila brought, Luna's gun purchase, her erratic behavior, could not be ignored. Confronting Luna was gut-wrenching. The young woman who once clung to her for reassurance now stared back at her mother with hardened defiance. "You don't understand," Luna snapped, "none of you ever have." Her voice cracked with frustration, but her grip on the truth was slipping, and Poppy, eyes wet with disbelief, whispered, "You're scaring me, baby." Later, it was Poppy who warned Finn and Lee Finnegan that Luna was, quite literally, gunning for Steffy. The word echoed in Finn's mind, gunning, and for a second, he imagined the worst. Could Luna, who once wept in his office over unrequited love, now be plotting to take a life? Steffy, unaware of the full depth of the threat, remained poised but watchful, though deep inside, she felt the chill of something sinister. Her intuition had never failed her. Meanwhile, back at the gun range, Remy tried to reconnect with Luna, asking why she was there, what she was really doing. Luna deflected at first, but Remy wasn't buying it. "You're not okay," he said quietly. "This isn't you." His words, sincere and careful, chipped at her armor, and for a split second, Luna's shoulders sagged. Maybe you don't know me at all, she whispered, but her voice betrayed the pain she had been masking. Remy knew better than to push too hard, but he stayed close, knowing that his presence might be the only thing tethering Luna to reason. As Luna stormed out, mumbling something about needing to finish what she started, Remy pulled out his phone. He didn't know who to call, but he knew someone had to be warned. At the same time, Liam, with resolve sharpening every breath, stepped out of Finn's office and into the unknown. He was going to find Luna himself, or die trying. Maybe it was reckless, maybe it was desperate, but it was also brave. A man with nothing left to lose makes for a dangerous hero. The stage was set for a collision course no one could stop, and with every passing second, the lives of Steffy, Luna, Liam, and everyone connected to them crept closer to an irreversible breaking point. On the surface, it was another glamorous day in LA, but in the shadows, old wounds, broken hearts, and dangerous obsessions were about to explode.